This is the last time that I'm going to come into this room and it looks like this, because tomorrow the guys are just about finished painting the walls and the ceilings, and my flooring is coming in tomorrow, and that is going to transform everything. So all of the hard work's been done. The walls have been relined, we've done the painting, we've sorted out the electrical, the flooring is on the way, and then, well, really, it's starting to feel like a finished house. This room, which has kind of always been a little bit of the ugly duckling in terms of the house, it's a little misshapen, it's got some old and it's got some new, has really been brought together, and there's been quite a transformation here. Part of that has been from a building perspective. We've fixed some of the things that irritated me at the beginning. The beam hanging down, the understud here, we've lengthened that wall. But the other massive transformation in this room has been the painting. So we talked last time about preparing the room. Well, this is what you get when you do your preparation well. The walls are looking really, really good. White, and this is half merino. These are really hard colors to work with. So your preparation has to be spot on, and that's what we've done in here. What we've decided to do with painting in these rooms here is, because I'm painting over the old tongue and groove and I've got the old ceilings and they're a little bit ropey, to be really honest, I wanted to bring the sheen, the gloss level right down. So we've used SpaceCote flat on all of the ceilings. I've used SpaceCote on the walls too, but in a low sheen. And it's given me that sort of slightly chalky, old, settled look that I was really looking for. I'm happy with the half merino. I think this room is looking great. This room here, which is going to be the space for the kitchen and the dining room, has, again, it's a massive transformation in here, from the fact that the floor used to be really unlevel, that it was a Remu tongue and groove ceiling, that there was old timber joinery in here. All of that's transformed. But it's also meant that we've had to do quite a bit of shopping and make a lot of decisions. The good thing is that we've settled on the design, so the team at T Brothers Cabinetry are underway with the cabinets right now for the kitchen that's going to wrap around. We've been out to see my mate Mike at AGB Stone, and we've found some beautiful engineered stone. So once the cabinet's in, that can be templated. And of course, we've had to start making decisions about lighting as well. So shot across to Lighting Direct, have found exactly the right downlights and a couple of little pendants for there. Still got some choices to make in the rest of the house, but now it comes down to, these are choices about how the whole house is going to look. So it's sort of exciting, but where I know the building, you know, this stuff is kind of scary for me. So if you're renovating, I feel your pain. One of the early decisions in the Huis Project was to opt for aluminium joinery. So I'm really, really happy with it, and it's kind of proven itself now that yes, it is contemporary, yes, this is an old house. That, with the addition of a really simple architrave that we've added in here, and with the timber floors and the bench top, it's going to work really, really well. It looks great on the inside, the black with the half merino, and with the outside, once I've put facings and scribers around there as well, I think it's going to work well. And the beauty of being able to simply slide these bifolds open, slide open the little windows in the dining room and the kitchen, it's all coming together. You know, when we first looked at this house and when I first considered the project, I actually wanted to take the chimneys out. I thought, I want the space, you know, it'll make this room a bit bigger and all of those sorts of things. But the funny thing is that as we've been in the house now for a couple of months, I've kind of become attached to it. And even some of the things about it that I didn't like, the fact that it wasn't symmetrical, the amount of space that it takes up in the room, doesn't really matter. It's actually become, it always was, a central part of the house, and now I've come to understand that as well. So the next stage in this is we've done some render, the boys are just protecting that, and then the fireplace will come in here from a sear, mount that in there. We're just about ready. We've got power and gas. We're almost ready for the fireplace. So this room here, which is going to be a bedroom, we've added a wardrobe and we've kept the chimney in here as well. And you know, it's kind of grown on me in the sense that the fact that it's not symmetrical, that the brickwork is not perfect, I actually find that part of the charm. But what I did want to do was add a modern twist to it. So what we've done is we've used a rock coat render and essentially gone as light as we possibly can over the whole of the chimney. It's actually still drying out. And then it leaves me with a couple of choices. I could do a clear coat over it and keep that sort of authentic render feel to it, or in fact I could paint it. So at this stage it's a work in progress, but I can tell you what, to get it looking like this, I spent the better part of a Saturday with a tungsten scraper going over every single line to the point where I've pretty much polished up the scraper. But it took some time, it really did, but I think it looks great. This room is going to be the master bedroom. It has the biggest wardrobe, has a lovely view out the window. It is also going to have something that, to be honest, I'm a little bit excited about. I love the simplicity of the room, but we're going to add some Resene wallpaper. What's really exciting for me is that the wallpaper is designed by my sister. So it's in process at the moment. We will be the first people in the country to have this feature wallpaper all across here as a backdrop to the bed. I think it's going to look stunning, but it hasn't even been made yet. One of the really big challenges with this project is that when the extension was done, the concrete slab was level with the kauri flooring. The other thing was that in this corner of the building there had been some significant subsidence, so we had to remove the flooring in order to get to the joists, repair the bearers, do the insulation. So I end up with old kauri, new plywood, concrete and a lot of floor leveling compound. One of the big challenges then is how do we draw all of these different areas together? So what we're going to do is we're going to use an engineered timber. It's going to be a French oak from Quickstep, and it's going to come from the front door right through here, over the old kauri, over the plywood, over the concrete, and flow through into that room, and it's just going to bring this whole space together. I really do understand why bathrooms are tricky and complex, because there's just so many sub-trades involved in here. Obviously we got stuck in early enough to do the timber framing, then we've had the electrician and the plumber come and do their first fix, then we've had insulation installed, then we've put up our jib aqualine as a substrate. We've changed the windows, so I've had the glaziers in here, and the painters have been through already using bathroom SpaceCote on the ceilings here, so make it really durable. And then in the last couple of days I've had the team from WarmUp come in, and they've done a whole lot of different jobs. The most important one obviously is getting the waterproofing sorted out. So a full membrane underneath the floor, up the walls here inside the shower, lapping up around the corner and around where the bath is going to be. Once that membrane went down, they've installed underfloor heating. You can just see the wires through here. That goes up to a controller, and they've added in an alarm. If by some reason somebody was to nick the electrical cable in the floor, the alarm would sound and we could repair it before all of the tiling's done. So that's really good. They've also installed the hob for the shower. This is a really neat system where it's simply going to fall towards a channel grate located underneath the shower rose there, and then we'll get the team from Metro in to measure up from the new glass sliding door that's coming in there. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for me to organise and coordinate, but everyone's done their part so far, and I think it's looking great. So this is how we spent our Saturday afternoon on the Huis Project. We've been to Tile Space, we've found what I think is a fantastic tile with a bit of a pattern in it, but because it's got a pattern, we wanted to set the pattern out roughly to the floor size before handing over to the tiler on Monday. So we've looked at, does that one go with that one? Does that pattern join there? Where do we want the front one to be? This one's going to be in the shower. That one's under the toilet. That one's under the bath. That one's under the vanity. I think we've got it. So Monday morning, Tyler comes in. That one goes into that corner. That one goes next to it. Job done.